What up, family? It's your boy Amadou back with another review, and this time I am reviewing Frozen 2.
Frozen 2?
Yes, Frozen 2. Not too long after the events of the first movie, the entire crew is back. Anna, Elsa, Olaf, Kristoff, and Sven, seemingly happy under one roof ruling over Arendelle. Or at least it seems. Till you get to Elsa. And there is an ethereal, sing-songy voice in the distance.
In the distance?
Yes, in the distance. Calling to her. Calling to her powers. And you can tell she may not want to be queen. She wants to go into the unknown. Hence the song. But when this voice triggers powers she didn't know she had and forces she doesn't understand, her entire town comes under threat. Now her and the Scooby Gang must go to the Enchanted Forest.
The Enchanted Forest?
The Enchanted Forest to learn the source of this voice, the source of her powers, and some mysteries of Arendelle's past. The strength of the original Frozen was in the depth of its characters and the heart and quirkiness each of them had. It made you get really enamored with their personalities, and they doubled down on this in Frozen 2. When they use this character development to move the plot forward, it creates a really well-rounded animated feature with a lot of good emotional beats, really important messages for kids, some very funny moments, and surprisingly great action sequences. Anna and Elsa's relationship is still at the core of this movie, with their emotional ties creating the most heartfelt moments throughout the film. Idina Menzel as Elsa is both powerful and vulnerable through song and dialogue, somehow commanding the screen as an animated character. Combine this with the absolutely beautiful animation they use to show off her powers, and you get some of the most stunning scenes, both action and just spectacle, I've seen in a Disney film in a long time. They definitely one-upped what Elsa can do from the original. Kristen Bell is perfect as the frantic, insecure, unwaveringly hopeful, and loyal Anna, whose reckless, do whatever it takes to protect her family attitude is the glue that not only holds her and her sister's relationship together, but the relationship of the entire makeshift family. It's through her that we get a lot of important messages, like doing the right thing no matter what impossible task is in front of you, in order to do what's right for you and do what's the next right thing for your family. And the relationship between the two of them is at the heart of this film. And it's only bolstered by the likes of Olaf and Kristoff.
Olaf and Kristoff?
Yes, I just mentioned those two. What do you mean Olaf and Kristoff? Jonathan Groff's Kristoff has a surprisingly well-suited side story, considering it's one about him being insecure about how to propose to Anna. Now in Disney films, usually it's the man who comes to save the day for the damsel in distress, but just like in the original, it's not a "here I come to save the day." It's more of a pedestal to strengthen the foundation that Anna and Elsa have already established in their familial bond and familial love. And then there's Josh Gad as Olaf, who has now cemented himself as low-key, but high-key, one of the most hilarious and best Disney animated characters in the Disney canon to date with this film. Now given permanent sentience, he gets to see the passage of time. And with that, he gets all the insecurities and doubts that come with growing old and getting more mature, and believing that everything will make sense when you grow older, when really, it just gets more complicated. Juxtapose that with his permanent optimism to believe that everything is gonna be all right, and you get, for kids, some of the goofiest, silliest, and hilarious scenes. But for adults, you get some uncomfortable laughter for some uncomfortable truths. Because he drops truth bombs. Truth bombs about getting older that's as uncomfortable as Drake at a Flog Knock concert.
Drake?
Drake? Ain't Frozen the movie that got bodied by Tangled? Ain't this the sequel that when I ask a question and then they gotta ask a question back to me? Okay, fam, you keep asking me questions. Why do you keep asking me questions? You hear what I'm saying? This ain't Jeopardy. You ain't gotta say what is after everything I... Seriously, you ain't noticed how many times they had to ask a question after somebody said something? Or when Anna or Elsa just happened to know something that we've never heard of before? Drake? Huh. You're right. Well, will you stop asking questions if I explain this to the people?
Questions? I'm done.
Thank you. Okay, one great outcome of this character development is that they try to build a lore and a world around Frozen with aspirations like Lord of the Rings, some shades of Fifth Element. They have a lot of aspects to really create a deep and mythical history behind Arendelle and its inhabitants. Except they do this through exposition, and as my colleague over here likes to say, exposition?
Now let's imagine Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, and Olaf are walking along, and Olaf trips over something and says, "Hey, look, I'm a MacGuffin." "A MacGuffin?" "Yeah, a MacGuffin," and continues to explain this thing to move on to the next plot point. Then Elsa uses her powers, gets somewhere, and says, "Look, new people." "New people?" "Yes, these new people, who Anna somehow knows the entire history and backstory of, with absolutely no previous allusion or reference to it in any of the movies, and we are supposed to take it as if they've known about this all along."
Too often they relied on this questioning and this unearned revelations to move the plot forward, and it feels like they just crammed new people and new characters and new history down your throat that just made a hasty attempt to world build. Made me feel as an audience member, made my kids, I don't have kids, but I mean kids, if I had kids, made my kids feel like they aren't smart enough to piece things together without things fed to them word for word. When they do this, the movie feels really rushed and clunky and washes the potential of anything new. The only new character given even an ounce more than surface level depth is Sterling K. Brown's Matthias, who was a general for Anna and Elsa's father. But it felt like there was so much more that could go into his story, and we didn't really get to see it. But when they focused on character development to move the plot forward, everything felt natural, progression in the plot felt natural, the inclusion of characters felt natural, and it felt like Frozen can build upon this world to have sequels upon sequels upon sequels. You saw how much money it made over Thanksgiving weekend. There will be sequels upon sequels upon sequels. In the end, Frozen 2 has its apparent flaws, and being a musical, I had to sit through the songs, except one. Kristoff has one of the best musical scenes I have ever seen in a Disney film. It's like a combination throwback of Guns N' Roses and NSYNC, and I laughed my ass off at that. Bravo, whoever came up with that homage to the old school 90s TRL MTV music videos. When MTV had music videos, it was beautiful. Anyway, past the musicals, past the cramming plot down your throat with the questions, all of its strengths and its leaning on the characters outweighs the flaws the movie has. And you walk away with a really enjoyable experience, a really great movie for kids, a really smart and mature movie for adults, and a world that might become rich in its history, rich in its world building, and enough to build a really, really complex, again, I've used this word, mythos. I enjoyed it. I wish it could have been better, but I still enjoyed it. And with that, I'm giving Frozen 2 6.5, maybe 7. No. Written review below. Comments below, please. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Don't sing that song again. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
I should go about my day and ignore your whispers, which I wish would go away.